And welcome back to another episode of Next Level Real Talk Podcast with Sheldon David and our special guest, Cori from Colorado. Hey, hey,
Woo-hoo.
hey. And for
Welcome
those of
back,
you
Cori. We've
who,
had her before.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
You
you.
know, so quite a few episodes ago. If you didn't get a chance to listen, go back and listen to the first episode that we had with her. It was great information, a great story of Cori. So definitely go back and listen to that one. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
It was a powerful
Happy to be
story,
back.
beautiful. How have you? It's already been 6 months. Time flies because you were saying, "Hey, we're going to have you back." And at that time, I thought
Right,
in a
right.
month or two, and it's like 6 months like that. So it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Time flies.
Crazy 6 months. Yeah, for sure. Uh, yeah, it's good to be back. I think last time, we had planned on me coming back, I think like 2 months, and then I was going through something and needed to put it off. And so that's,
Yeah.
yeah, like we were talking last time, if we kind of just want to pick up where we were from last time,
Yeah.
as far as like when you're healing, you kind of go through these, it's a spiral, right? You come back around. And
Amen.
and then during the time when you called me, I was like, oh, I'm not in a good part of the spiral to be
I'm not
to be honest.
spiraling, but I'm not in a
Yeah,
good place
right,
on the
right.
spiral.
Yeah, I mean, it was a place that needed to be looked at, and
Yeah.
that's I've learned that when that comes up, I don't try to push it aside so that I can make life fit into it. I focus, go into it, and
It's beautiful.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll just kind of share what it was. So I know I shared on my last podcast that I had as when I was young, I had severe OCD, and every once in a while that will come back. Not so much the compulsions of doing things, but more obsessing about certain things.
Mm.
And I got on this I got on this little obsessive swirl that where and it comes from, I can see now, it comes from my need to make sense of the world. And
Mm.
and it's like, and I was, so what I got caught on, and I'm not trying to talk about politics, but this is just what I got caught
Yeah.
on was how can you claim to follow Christ and support this administration? And that
Yeah.
was, that was something that I
Yeah.
was just so stuck on. I was like, that
Yeah.
makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And I was driving myself crazy. And
Yeah.
and I was in meditation, and I just like I heard the best thing, and it said, the voice that I heard in my meditation was like, it said I got to put it exactly how they said it, because they whoever, wherever these
Yeah.
voices come from.
Yeah.
But it was like, my love, my dear, trying to make sense of insanity is just more insanity.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah,
That's
and I
very
was
true.
like, like it just
Yeah.
lifted. Yeah, and it's like, it's not like I don't know that, but I'd still get stuck. Of
Uh-huh.
just, especially when people are suffering, and it's
Sure.
I'm just really trying to make sense of it. And
Yep.
and what I also realized, in order to be gentler on myself, was that there was a time in my life when trying to make sense of what was happening actually helped me. It
Yes.
helped. Yeah, it helped me
100%.
get. It helped me get
That's
out of.
part of it. Yep.
Right, like it helped me get out of bad environments. It helped me
Yep.
get out of things that didn't make sense.
Yep.
And now I'm like, it's not necessary anymore, Corey.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't need that. And
You're like,
so
relax.
yeah, right.
Yep.
And that was about 4 months ago. And so since then, I'm like, man, I feel great. Like I wished I would,
Mhm.
well, you gotta do what you
Yeah.
gotta do. But
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I
Yep.
wasted a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
It was followed with, trying to make sense of insanity is just more insanity. Where are you creating peace? And yeah, so it gave me like a different direction
Wow.
to go to, because
I mean,
by focusing on that, I'm just
yeah.
creating more insanity, right?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, so
So
that was
you're contributing to your own insanity,
right,
right?
exactly. And I've
You're
done that a lot. Yeah,
yeah. You know what I mean? It's like we don't need any help with that. We can just
right,
none of us need any
right.
help with that. Let's let
Yeah,
that one go. and but that's a
exactly.
beautiful. I think it's when you think about what's going on in the world right now, you know, there's a lot of those little hooks. I used to call them hooks, right? It's like a
Exactly.
fish. You got hooked onto something. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
dragging you, and
did.
you roll with it for a while. There's a lot of hooks in the world right now to hook us into,
Right.
you know, trying to make sense because
Right.
there's so many things that are just like mind-boggling. If you try to wrap your brain around it, you're
Hmm.
just like, what the F is going on
Yeah.
out there? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, so you just let me ask you this. So you do you when that happened? I mean, we all run with it for a while.
Right. Yeah,
We
for
just
sure.
Yeah.
we do. We
And
get
I knew I
caught, we
was
run.
running with it. Like I
Huh?
knew I was running. I knew I was
Yeah.
running with it. Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah.
beauty of part of the right when you start to recognize like I'm going here. Oh
Yeah.
shit! And
I'm
sometimes
going
you
down
just
that
like I'm
road.
going to
Yeah.
go for a little bit, and that's okay.
Right.
You go down the
Right.
rabbit
Yeah.
hole, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
But but the level of awareness that like,
Hmm.
hey, I can feel myself going down a little path, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have, so you said you meditated, do you have a particular way that you deal with that stuff when it comes up? Like, I mean, I guess you said you meditated, but I'm just wondering if for somebody else out there, maybe is
I
there,
do meditate, but I also spend a lot of time in nature.
yeah,
So much time in nature. I it's the most healing thing for me, and
yeah,
I'm lucky enough to we live on 35 acres of just forest, and so
beautiful.
yeah. But it's what helps me so much.
Yeah,
The only way I can explain it is that it feels like coming home. I mean, when I get out, not into our town, but like we just traveled recently and you get into big cities. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like I'm on the Truman Show. And I'm like, I gotta get back to I gotta get back to yeah. And
talking
I
heads.
know
Woo, woo, woo,
yeah,
woo.
yeah. And it's just a strange feeling of like, what is I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been coming up more of just like what's happening.
You-
Um,
We had a
but then
guy,
I get
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Oh, I
We
was
had
just
a
gonna
guy
say
from
then I get
Belfast
home.
who, I'm sorry, we had a guy from Belfast who,
Huh.
same thing. He goes for a
Yeah.
walk, he gets out and, we were talking about that. The Japanese have that thing I saw on Facebook. I don't know if it's real, but it was on
Mhm.
Facebook. They called it forest bathing.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of that.
They go
Yeah.
out in the forest, right? So I
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's something that, you're tapping into that is huge, right?
Yeah.
It's not a
That it
little thing.
no, it's huge. It's, that and when I meditate, sometimes I just meditate and just observe. And
Yeah.
other times I just keep going deeper, deeper, deeper,
Yeah.
how deep can I go? And I will say also that I'm somebody that I have extremely intense dreams. And
Mm.
so and because I experience like huge amounts of joy, but I also experience the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I can go very dark, and when there's certain things in the world happening, I experience them in my dreams, and so it's hard to once I wake up, it's hard to come back and be like, okay, I have to
Yeah.
center myself every
Yeah.
day because
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of insane the amount of darkness that I can hold as far as like the things that I see in my dreams and but like I said it seems like every time the more I hold that on that end of the spectrum, the
Mm-hmm.
more I can hold on this other end of the spectrum, and that's what keeps me going, right? Like I don't know what would happen if it was just all the
Yeah.
dark, but
But thank you. You said it
yeah,
though. You recognized it that you were going down this, stuck in this kind of, not stuck into it, but you're like, wow, I'm going really deep into
hmm
this, and which is okay to do. But
yeah,
it's if you don't recognize it, you're stuck and you're done. That's where we
right,
get
right,
our far to the left, far to the right. Wherever you are, that's what happens. They get stuck in that. But I like how you said you notice it and you just go, okay, where am I? Which you can
yeah.
be there as long as it's okay with you at that
Right.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't just cut it because I could, been doing this long enough to know that once I do start experiencing that darkness or that spiral, you can't, if I were just say, no, no more, like it doesn't work that it's asking to be seen. It's asking to be,
Yeah.
Uh huh.
explored in some way. And so then it's like, okay, what's the pearl of wisdom that's
Yeah.
in this? And for
Yeah.
me, it was that I was continuing, seeing where I was continuing to do things that at one time worked for me and helped get
Mhm.
me out of certain situations, and now they're no longer needed. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it's I just like to call it the mystery. I don't know how it works. It's
Yeah.
just
That's cool.
the more I surrender to it, the more
Surrendering
and
to the
trust.
mystery. of
Yeah,
life
and
and the
trust
beauty
of
of it.
right. And what it's bringing up for me, then it's like it does its thing, and now it's not an issue, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a wonderful past few months,
And
and so
So
when you get into that deepness of something, and you're like you were talking about politics. We don't do politics on here, but we talk
mhm.
politics.
Yeah, yeah.
The is like you're going like, why are they able to do this? But you
Mhm,
going a little bit into it allows you
mhm.
to understand now more of them. Like going
Right,
like,
right,
that's how they're doing this, but I'm not going
right,
to go down that road. But now
right,
I can understand where they're going. It seems like
right.
instead of just
Yeah,
the I don't get it anymore. It's like, oh, this is
yeah,
how it's happening. This is where they are. I don't agree with it, but
right.
this is I can work around that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and
You know.
also, if I was honest with myself, I do understand how that happens. I grew up in,
Yeah,
you
true.
know,
Yes.
in similar stuff, and so it's like I guess maybe it's me thinking that people should understand something the way I understand it,
yeah.
Mm.
and and looking at where do I need people to be a certain way? Why do I need them to see
Mhm.
things a certain way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
it's
you go back and listen to the previous episode with Corey, you'll understand what she's talking about because she was deep into her family was deep into something that she had to get out of herself, and eventually, that's where you had to learn. So she's got a different perspective of understanding where people are, so which is
mhm.
kind of cool. In
Yeah,
a
yeah,
way. I mean, it's sad that you had to go through it to understand it,
right,
but
mm,
but she understands where it is, and so it's kind of cool that you can do both sides and see where they
mhm,
are. You know.
So
right,
you one of those things about like when they talk about it like transcendence. My teacher,
mhm,
when I had a teacher who used to talk about that, and I always talk about it on like the yin yang symbol, right?
mhm, mhm,
The dark and the light. And if you're
right,
in the light fighting the dark, you're still in the fight. You're still caught up.
right,
And
yeah,
transcendence is like looking at the dark and the light equally, right?
Mhm.
exactly,
You have to
yeah,
be looking at the yin yang symbol, the whole totality of that symbol, but you're seeing the light and the dark, and you're seeing both of the play between the two. And
Mhm.
how do you do that and hold space for that? And the capacity to which you deepen your connection increases the capacity to which your ability to hold both
right,
simultaneously, right? So that's what
right.
like you're describing your
It's
experience.
it's totally that you learn. It's funny
Yeah.
because you use the word transcendence during this, time when I was going through this. After I got through on the other side, it was like the what came to me was that only in transcendence of opposites do I come into full harmony with with my nervous system,
Yeah,
Mm.
that
and
is.
I can
It
feel
is
it.
harmonization, right? You're
Mhm.
literally watching it, but you have to be able to see how crazy we can go that way and how crazy we can go that way,
Yeah.
and we can
Right,
go pretty darn crazy.
right. Yes, I've done it.
We are
I've,
we are
I've,
infinite creations of divine, right? So can
right.
the divine get pretty dark? Can that thing go all the way that way? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
beautiful and powerful, but also like it feels like you know the other thing that happens, right, is there's a simplicity that happening,
Yes. Mhm.
right? It becomes very simple. It's
It
just like
does. And yeah,
just go
that's
garden, have a good time. There's a
right. And
beautiful
that's
Yeah.
kind
sunset.
of right. Like after, I, kind of went through this other ring, I was like walking into the store and all of a sudden I just looked down and I heard my foot on the cement. And then I looked up and heard a raven on a light pole, and then I saw the sunbeam bouncing off of a car's mirror,
Uh-huh.
and then I saw a homeless guy get on a bike, and I heard the chain, and I was like, "It's a damn symphony out here!" Like it was just beautiful. Like,
You're like, am I on acid right now? I'm on the best acid there is. It's called
I know, and
life.
I've heard people say that, but I've never done acid, so I wouldn't know. But,
Yeah,
but
you're describing
I
it.
like.
that's funny. I mean, it felt
But
amazing
it's
to
cool
just
because
like
you're so grounded that you're like whatever's happening, you're now paying attention to it.
right,
Whether it's good noise, bad noise, you're like, oh, I'm hearing that, I'm
right.
hearing that. But it was good noises that you were hearing, so that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always there. That's the thing. And
Yep.
it's several times since then it's happened. I'll just see like the wing of a butterfly or a leaf that falls, and I'm just like, I just get this sense of, oh, it's so beautiful. I wouldn't really know how to put it into words, but of just like everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to be okay, and
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
beautiful, and it's all around us all the time.
Yes.
We once we get quiet enough to listen, and
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, and it's just funny because so I'm about to turn 54, and I was like kind of just going through and just being with my journey and looking at the different stages. And I was talking with a friend yesterday, and I was just telling her how it feels it's so interesting. This is not where, when I first started the spiritual journey, this is not where I would have thought I would end up. And it's like it's come full circle. It's like a full circle. So it's at first you totally immerse yourself in every spiritual thing. I read every book I could get my hands on. Everything
Yeah.
had a meaning to the point that it was probably obnoxious to some people,
Yeah.
but
Tired.
but
Oh my God.
yeah, yeah, and it was beautiful. It was fun. It was beautiful, and then it got tiring, and now it's like I don't know. My friend and I were talking about the other day, do we even call it spiritual, or is it just like, is everything spiritual or nothing spirit? If, it's either all spiritual or not, none of
Yeah.
it's spiritual, but, it's, yeah, I find it, I just, I used to need a group, like I needed to be with a group. I needed to listen to some teachings, and I heard a story the other day, and I may not be saying it right, but it was a Buddhist story, and it was like, oh, it's exactly what I needed to hear. And it was about this man who was searching, and he met a teacher, and the teacher gave him a canoe because he knew he was about to have to cross a river. And the river was very rough. And so he's like, here, you're going to need this canoe to get across the river, or a raft. I think it was a raft. And so he gave him the raft, and the student got on the raft, and he was going over the river, and it was rough and bumpy, and it took him a while. And then he got to the other side of the river. And once he did, he started trying to pick the raft up because he's like, I want to take this raft with me. It helped me so much. And then he realized, like, I'm already across the river. I don't need the raft. Like,
Why are you dragging
but
that
he was,
baggage with you?
yeah, but he was
Old
still
tools.
trying to, right. He was still trying to hang on to it. So it kind of goes back to like something that helps you at one point in your journey
Yeah.
might become heavy or not
Yeah.
flowing in the
Yeah.
next part of your journey.
Yeah.
And now it's just my life. It's very simple. It's, uh, like David was saying, we built a grow dome so I can grow. We can grow vegetables,
Yeah.
and I just planted an avocado and a lemon tree, and a zucchini sprouted, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing!" Like I just and if you knew me before, if you knew my nervous system before, the fact that I'm gardening is just it's a miracle, really.
That
Like,
in and of itself is proof.
yes, right.
Miracles are
Um,
real.
yeah, and it's something that so many people do, but I was never able to just be still enough to, I was
Yeah.
always just hanging on, trying to
Yeah.
survive. And now I'm
Yeah.
like bird watching and
Yeah.
gardening, and it's the simplest thing, and it's the most beautiful thing. And I'm like, I could do this forever. It's,
I think the Buddhists have an expression called everyday enlightenment.
oh, okay.
It's that
Yeah.
same idea of before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
Oh,
It's like
okay. Yeah.
you're just going along doing your life, and that's it. But you're doing it from a completely different place, right?
Different place. Yes.
You
Like
know?
I'm not trying to prove, I'm just doing it for the sheer enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, and the way it tastes, the food that you grow, how it tastes,
Can't
ooh, it's
even
so
imagine.
different. Yeah, I
Can't
mean,
even imagine.
yeah,
That's
and I'll tell you another thing too is funny is like because I do have like an obsessive
yep.
tendency. I used to be in a place where I would only go on trips, like travel, if it involved like a workshop or a
Yep.
pilgrimage or something where I was working on
A
myself,
retreat,
right?
Oh,
the
Yeah.
meditation or something. Yeah.
And that was great. It was
Yeah.
great at the time at work. I met people. I had a lot of support. Having
Yep.
support at the beginning of journey, especially,
Yep.
or any parts of your journey, it's important. But so my husband and I just got back we went to Finland and Iceland. I
Yes.
always wanted
nice.
to see the Northern Lights. That's
Yep.
just like, and so I was like, okay, it's okay to go on a trip that's not spiritual.
Go on a personal fun trip. Why not?
Yeah,
There's
I
a
know,
concept.
right? Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
can do
But
stuff for me. What?
I deserve to have some little fun now and then.
I know, I know, and yeah, I don't know. I just because I tend to because I just have that. It's part of
Yeah.
something that I have a lot where I just have to be so intense about things,
Yeah.
and so I just decided to go and have a good time. And I will tell you this, that what I realized was that. It's much easier to be spiritual and loving on a spiritual retreat. But when you go on a treat, so I already have like issues with layers. I'm super sensitive. Like, ugh, I just like one layer of
Yeah.
clothing. And in Finland, it's -10. So I was
You
wearing
need layers.
5 layers. Yeah, five
Yeah.
layers of clothes. So I was already irritated, like,
So there's a teaching a lesson opportunity
yeah.
right there.
And
You're like,
everywhere. I mean, I could tell you guys, like, I was like, ooh, some things came up where I was like, yikes, that's not very spiritual. That's not very loving. There was this point where I got like, so we were looking at this geyser in Iceland, and it's beautiful, right? It's like boiling water shooting out of the center of the earth. So it's pretty amazing on its own. But I couldn't find a place to enjoy it because so many people had their tripods set up, and then
yeah.
and they would get their makeup, and then so let's say this blue thing is the geyser, and so they're getting their makeup, and they have a tripod, and they're like, like doing their poses and stuff with the geyser in the background, and I'm like, oh, I just wanted to knock all the tripods out of the way so I could see the geyser.
You're like, is
And,
there judgment happening right now?
there was, yeah. There was a ton of judgment. I was just like, why aren't you just enjoying it,
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Blue Lagoon. Like people where they couldn't even swim or enjoy it because they're, worried about people splashing them and they have their phones up. And it's like I got very irritated about it. And I was like,
100%.
yeah, so why? What was that about? Like if I
Yep.
were so what a good opportunity to
Yep.
look at myself. And the other thing is like when I travel, usually I like to go on my retreats and then I like to just wander around the country and go wherever it takes me.
Yeah.
I don't usually make a lot of plans. Well, this trip was, it required some planning, and it required, we went and floated in the Arctic Ocean, and that's not something you can just go out on an icebreaker ship and do it on yourself. You gotta go, you've got to go with a group.
Or
And
you're
so,
dead.
yeah, right. So you've got to go with a group, and the groups are noisy and
Yeah.
pushy,
Yeah.
and so I was
Yep.
like, wow, I think I should just go on regular trips to learn lessons because I saw some parts of myself that maybe needed to be looked at. So it was really interesting of how just I can just relax and life can be my teacher. I don't have to
Yep.
go to
Yep.
the mountains and
Yep.
wherever
Yeah.
or a cave or whatever. It's not necessary. There's stuff all around you if you're
Yeah.
asking.
And being open to it. That's the whole thing, because you were open to it. You're like, hey, what's
Oh
going on
yeah,
here? I'm doing this. So
yeah.
you were learning, even
Hmm.
though it was stressful for you and upset for you, you were
Right.
learning, going, okay, this is where I am. But other people
Yeah.
might have fought it and then angered really angry and said, I'm
Yeah.
out of here. I don't want to do this. I'm done. No, it's like, okay, this is not where I want to be, but I just got to process through this.
Right.
So,
And then that night, like go back to the hotel and be like, man, like remember each face in front of the geyser and be like, man, I'm sorry. I judged you. I gotta work on that. But also another lesson was to me was like it made me not want to have my phone. Like
mm,
it just made me
Mm.
not want to because it was like yeah, I saw so many people. We took a reindeer ride, and like there was a whole family that was on their phone the whole time of the reindeer ride, and I'm like, oh, and I know I've been on my phone plenty of times where I've probably missed things, and
Yeah.
it just was such eye opening of seeing like how where am I not enjoying myself?
yeah.
So I'm trying to put it
Yep.
on a. And there's a difference in like for me, like sometimes I just like so excited if something brings me joy, I really want to share it. But like if you're only doing the experience just so you can put it on your
Yeah.
Yep.
phone,
100%.
is it?
Social
Yeah,
media
it's
stuff.
very
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's
very
weird.
different. It
It's
is
weird.
weird.
Yeah,
It
if you were
is
It's
saying,
weird.
weird.
you
It's
you
and
wish
it's
you
hard
didn't have
not to
your
go, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Right?
I
Like,
know.
really, dude? What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
That's
like Corey, you're talking
it's
about
hard not to
not
get caught in that little thing,
It
right?
is. Yeah.
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 You're talking about not wanting to have that phone, which is like, yeah, it's great because then if you're riding that reindeer, so you're looking around seeing it. Otherwise, you're looking on your phone, which is not good. But it's good to have the phone to take a picture of where you are so that you have
Right.
that memory. So it's that
Yeah.
knowledge of
The
knowing
balance,
what is
right?
the
Yeah.
balance of it all. Yeah,
It's
it's like,
all
I
it's
need
all a
this,
balance, right?
but I
Yeah.
can't
Because
live
then
on
people
it.
get obsessed with taking the right picture and the exact photo
Mhm.
and the perfect moment and the
Oh,
capture
I know.
and then you get so caught in there missing the moment and you're going, "Are you missing the moment right now?" And then your brain is going, "Hey."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
It's just like,
Like,
"Hey, let's all just relax. We're gonna relax."
yeah,
That's
and
that's one thing. That's one thing where I was at one time when I was so upset at somebody else doing something that I caught myself going like, you are not even enjoying it now. So I'm
right,
pissed off at myself and them.
exactly.
So I got mad at myself. I was like, no, stop and enjoy it and forget about what they're doing and you go and enjoy it. It was like,
Exactly.
I'm
I have
defeating
that
the whole
same thing.
minute.
I have that same thing. I'm like, well, you're not enjoying the moment either because you're too worried about them not enjoying the moment.
Nope,
Like,
my bad.
oh, it's so judgy.
Yeah. So,
You, that is such a beautiful, but that, that's with what's going on in the world. There's so much stuff that we can get into fear, get into
Yes.
judgment, get caught, that little hook, right? Big hooks, feels like
Yeah.
big hooks,
Big,
right?
yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, because that happens in the smallest places. That happens on vacation. That happens in your work. It happens in your family life. It happens in, geopolitics in the
Yeah,
world. And right.
it
You know what I
happens
mean?
every morning when you pick up your phone. I was in
Yeah.
my hammock the other day and I was just realizing like, whenever I have one of those things where stuff falls away, it just keeps falling, and
Yeah.
it's until you
Yeah.
feel so free. But I was like, the sheer amount of distractions on this planet from
Yep.
just being in
Yep.
alignment is insane. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at all mine is why I was able to
Yeah.
say like, wow. Yeah, it's
It's like I have conversations. Okay, I'm going to let myself go down. Let's go down this rabbit hole for a little bit.
right, right. Yeah,
Oh!
yeah. I'll be like, go ahead and see where that takes you. And then it's like, yeah.
mhm.
And then when I come out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll probably never do that again. But then I do. Like,
You do it. Yeah, you do it. Yeah. I always
not
For
do.
to
It's
the
now.
like,
not to the extreme. Yeah, not to
yeah,
the extreme. But
Yeah.
it gets less and less each time. But it's
Yeah. You were talking
uh,
about spiraling last time, right? And that's that
mm,
whole thing, right? You hit the same
yeah.
spot, but the
mhm.
spiral, and you're
Just went in deeper.
a
Ooh,
little
it feels
better
so.
at it, or
Yeah.
whatever you want to say, and you got the
Yeah,
tools. And,
and the thing is like every time it takes me back, at first I'm like, oh crap, here we go again, and then after that, when I'm, after I've gone through it, I'm like, oh man, I'll do this as many times as I need to because it feels so good when you let go of whatever
On it.
that is.
Yeah, you get beyond it. Yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
was dealing with that divorce. I kept going with that
Mhm.
feeling like there's that. You're doing good. All of a sudden, you get that. That
Yeah.
life. Bleh. And that was that. That's. I love how you said it because that's what I did. I just kept spiraling to it. It's like
Mhm.
it would come up, and then I learned to experience it rather than force through it. Just like, okay, it's
Yeah.
here. Let's
yeah,
experience. It's part of life.
yeah,
Hey, let's have fun enjoying it. It's not fun, but let's enjoy the journey so I can feel it and be, hey, I had that feeling, and maybe someone else is going through it, and I can help them out. I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And until you come back around to it the next time, and it doesn't even really, it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
trigger, it's just like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
hmm
I have no idea what that person's journey is
yeah.
about. I mean, for all
yeah,
I know, the people posing in front of the geysers could have gone home and been like, oh, I can't believe I didn't enjoy the moment, like, I don't know what happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe that picture they took actually touched somebody and inspired them to go
Right.
on their own personal journey, and we don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
I
hmm
That thing
know.
that thing
Yeah. I
clicked
was
down 5
talking.
levels deep, and some miracle happened that we weren't
Exactly.
aware of. So, yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
talking with my friend too the other day about she was going through something and sharing it with someone, and that person met her with, well, you're just in your story. And I don't know if anyone on the spiritual path has probably heard that,
yeah,
you open up and you say something very vulnerable, and they're like, that's just a story. And it's
yeah.
like
You go,
it may have been like that's not helpful at all.
yeah. That's
yeah,
um
it's not very loving and compassionate in that moment if we're
right.
going to look at things. How?
Right. And then, maybe there is a time and a place, but this
Yeah,
this wasn't the time or the place. Um and and the funny thing is I was thinking like I can look back and see there was plenty of times when I was in my story and I shared it all over, I was somebody that put everything that I was going through on Facebook. It was a process for me as far as like writing it out and
Yep.
being, breaking through, having the courage to put it out, where people I know that are not going to agree with it, that are going to think that I'm lost or whatever. But so I could go back and judge myself and be like, oh, you were just in your story. But also, what one person sees as your story, another person on their journey may read it and it touches them, like what you're seeing in
Yeah.
the picture. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you can't know. And I when she said that, I said, maybe the person saying you're in your story is in his story, that you're in a story.
Yeah.
All of our
Like,
stories.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of being on this planet, right?
Yeah,
Like we all,
yeah.
we're playing with our stories for a little bit. But
Well, we have to be in our story to be able to one tell it, to live it, but it's how you deal with your story to hopefully it affects others in a positive way.
yeah, and also like I can definitely see where you can get stuck in it, where yeah, for sure. And sometimes it's nice to have someone call you out about that, but man, you have to be careful, I would think, because this girl was not. I've seen a lot of people hurt by
Sure.
someone meeting them with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. I just
That's how you're helping them. If you're doing it because you're like just want to be, I'm right, you're wrong, you're being wrong all the time. It's like, oh, I'm here to help you, so this is how I want to help you out of this. That's a whole different.
right,
It's
right,
how you
right.
come to help them. Are you coming to
Yeah, or
help
ask
them because you want
questions and
better?
let them
Yeah.
come to that realization themselves, because it's only true if they come to it
That's
themselves.
how you grow through it, is when you do it yourself. I mean, you can be taught, like in school, you're taught how to do math, but you have to do the math to learn it. So you have
Yeah,
to do it yourself still. Same thing in the
yeah,
healing and personal healing. You got
yeah.
to go through it yourself. As much as Sheldon could have told me all those years of going through what I went through, he could have said, he did say it, but it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. Like, no, I got to slowly live it and get it. And so
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and for me, like I'm thinking more of like on the beginning of my journey when I was just like where I would use things to spiritually like bypass what was really happening. Like, well, someone would tell me a problem, be like, well, we're all one. Well, that's
Yeah.
not helpful
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe
Here's another
not.
good one. It's all an illusion. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Exactly. Like,
Thanks.
thanks. Oh, okay. I'll just, I'll feel better now. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's a big
not
one for the
helpful.
Course of Miracles community
Oh,
all
yeah.
the
Yeah.
time.
For
It's
sure.
it's
Yeah.
all the time. It's just like, all right.
Yeah, and I think too, like I was so because of the way I was wired, and combined with the religious, this extreme like legalistic religion that I grew up in, and you're wrong, I'm right, you're bad, you're not, you're saved, you're not. Like just I had this it's something I have to always be aware of compartmentalizing things, of putting them in groups. And so this is spiritual, this is a spiritual trip, this is not a spiritual trip.
Yeah.
Like that's just something with my mind. I know a lot
I
of
think
not
that's how the
every
brain works, right? It's,
yeah.
the
And mine was
brain.
just like super extreme. And so
Yeah.
the more I see, like it seems like too a lot of things are coming out about a lot of teachers and gurus,
I
and
was just
it's
going to
like,
bring that.
yeah,
Yep.
they're all human. Like
Yeah.
and also like where was my need to have someone put someone on a
Yeah.
pedestal?
Yeah.
Like what's that saying? Don't meet your heroes. Like
Ah,
which makes sense because we're all human,
Yeah.
and it feels good to let go of that, right? Like to let
Yeah.
go of the raft, to let go of the teacher, and just to keep going in. And that's what I keep. That's the most important thing for me right now. That I keep getting the guidance is just keep going in and strengthen that bond, or
That's
that
beautiful.
connection.
And
Yeah.
and in terms of, this idea of a teacher or a guide, or I want to teach, which is one of my hooks. You know what I mean? Hey, how many people are watching the podcast? But it really is, right? So,
That's okay.
and you can see that, right? But there's always that, it can be a hook, right?
Yeah.
You get hooked into it, and the next thing you know, you're like exalting yourself or whatever those things are and like you're saying, there's been a lot of kind of unveiling of some of the little dark corners that some of
Right.
these teachers have got themselves hooked up into. Like you
Right.
said, we're all people, we're all human, and
Mhm.
as soon as you think you're done or you don't need to do that anymore,
Right.
because
There
you're
it
better.
comes.
But what I was going to say is, you just being happy
Yeah.
and finding joy. What a beautiful teaching that is, right? And in a way, that is the most powerful teaching there is
Yeah.
you in your happiness and in your joy.
Yep.
And if you want to share that with people, fine. However you want to do that, you want to do that through a posting, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You want to do it however way, that is in itself like enough or whatever you want to call it, right? We don't
Yeah.
need to get out there and
Yeah. And letting go of that for me, I would say that I had very deep in me the need to save or
yeah,
because that's what I
yes,
was taught. We got to save
yes,
everybody, right?
yes,
It was very important, and people were
yep,
going to die and suffer for eternity if you didn't. And so, I I think I did at the beginning of my journey, spiritual journey, carry that into
yep,
that,
yep,
thinking I need to
Ah,
convert, change, or
yep.
whatever. And now I'm like, and that's why it's so cool that, I didn't know if we were doing the podcast until 15 minutes before. It was like, before I would not be able to do that. I would have had a list of things I needed to say.
Yeah,
And this was just like, you know what? I'm not here to prove,
we're good.
yeah,
Let's, yeah,
I just want to be myself. And also like, for whatever reason, I'm not, I don't, the way with religion, I let go of, I got to get to heaven. I got to get to heaven. With spirituality, I let go of, I got to be enlightened. I don't really,
yeah,
I don't think about it.
yeah,
I just think about, of what's happening right
yeah,
now. Like,
yeah,
I
be
don't
in the
think of
moment and
it.
enjoy. Yeah, enjoy the
Yeah.
moment where you're at right now. Don't
Yeah,
miss
I don't
that
think of
moment.
that in terms. And so when you let go of that, you're just, I think authenticity is probably the most freeing thing that I've experienced in my life is
And sometimes
just being able
we,
to be authentic.
yeah,
that
we're
is
so
such a
focused.
thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
we're so
That
focused
is,
on the deep, deep way down there, and we're not focusing on now, which is helping us to get to that far, far down there. So if we miss what we need now, that may be the biggest step to get to that next step, which we just missed. So you got to focus on where you are now. Yeah.
yeah. I think that
Yeah.
authenticity, and I always call it relaxation. Relaxation
Oh,
is this
yeah.
high spiritual teaching because we're not.
It
If
is.
you realize,
No.
whoa, I got all this tension here, and I'm like, and
Right.
my brains, and you're just like, wow, man, just relax, dude.
Yeah.
Chill
And
out and
And
relax.
that's so
And
true because the moments when I have that relaxation,
yeah,
it is, and I realize I didn't have that my whole life. And the
right,
moments when I'm just,
100%.
yeah, when I just feel so relaxed of just pure presence and just relaxation, it's like you can, when I experience that, I can see how different that is from
Yeah,
the other state of when I'm
yeah.
not relaxed and how truth
Hmm.
just comes when you're in this relaxed
And
place.
that
And,
is your authentic self.
mhm.
When you know what I mean? They're like connected in this weird way. Like because when you are relaxed, you are being authentic too. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
you can't
You're not trying to prove
yeah, you
anything.
can't be
Yeah,
authentic and be and be relaxed because
right.
you're there's a tightness or a block or something. You know what I mean? And so it's like
Yeah,
as you're
I
relaxing, you're
do.
authentic. What a beautiful inspiration that is for
I
anybody who
do.
happens to connect to that. And
Yeah,
that's
and
enough. And that's enough.
it is enough. And it's wonderful to for me to let go of that need to save or that need to teach. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing in me that wants to be a teacher. I don't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to live authentically. That's my
Yeah, how
that's
beautiful
my
is that? I have this story. I'm sorry. I've told this a million times on the podcast. My mom had a dream.
Mhm.
I was trying to teach her, right? She gets sick and she's kind of going down, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I got to get my last, hey mom, just so you know, I read this teaching and I'm
Right.
saving her, right? and and it was about this life review and blah blah blah, and it's about love and how loving can we
Mhm.
be, and let's just love people, whatever. And it was Bartholomew. This person had channeled
Mhm.
this, right? And I'm sharing this story with my mom to teach her,
Yeah.
and my mom, being the kind of master she was, she
Yeah.
says, I had a dream the other night. I know that. And I'm like, oh, really? You had a dream? She's like, yeah, I had a dream last night. I'm like, well, what was your dream? And she goes, I had this dream where I saw every single person I touched,
Mhm.
whether it was just a kind word, a
Mhm.
letter I wrote, a gift I might have
Mhm.
got them, an
Mhm.
interaction I had. And she goes, and I got to see how profound that it makes me want to cry. I
Yeah.
got to see the ripple of that little tiny thing in
Oh,
every person I touched in
right.
my life. And she's
Wow.
just like, my life had meaning exactly as it. I don't have to do anything.
Right, right.
Like,
That's freedom
I don't have to
too.
do something big. Like sometimes our ego, right? Our brain's like, you got to do
Oh,
something
yeah.
big. You got to save a bunch of people, whatever that is for us,
Right,
right? And she's
right.
like, I'm
Amen.
good.
Yeah.
So she got the beauty of that gift
Wow.
of that
And such
dream. And
humbleness too. That's like
yeah,
beautifully humble.
and it is the truth, right? It's
It
just like,
is,
wow,
yeah.
you don't need
Hmm.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Relax,
know.
And
be
Corey,
yourself.
You say you don't want to be a teacher. Well, I'm sorry to say, but you are just by being you. So no,
Right, and that's
so,
the irony.
so
That's like the
so because
paradoxical thing is like, this
yeah,
is
because you
how
think to go
cool
out
is
and teach, I
this?
have to go out and actually teach it. No, you don't. But
Yeah,
it's cool because you are a teacher indirectly without even knowing it. So
yeah,
that's a cool part. All of us are teachers.
Yeah, all of us for
All of
sure.
us live our lives,
Mhm.
so don't have to be that teacher, which a
Yeah.
lot don't want to be. I don't want to go out and have to do all that stuff to either myself. It's like, but if we're living our life in authenticity, in reality, and just grounding ourselves, I think that teaches others like, hey, I want to be like them. Or how are they doing that? How are they having such
Right.
peace through all this? Well, let me tell you, then that winds up teaching them indirectly. So it's kind of cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of
I
like,
think it's the letting go of the like what Sheldon was saying, like the egoic thing of doing something big. Like at
yeah,
first I was like, I gotta write a book, and now I'm like, maybe I'll write a book, maybe I won't, maybe I'll just share it on Facebook. I don't feel attached to it.
yeah,
And the other thing I do want to point out is that like there are times when the teachings are helpful. Like I just read that Buddhist about carrying the raft. Someone
yep,
taught that at one point,
yep,
and that was
yep,
helpful
Uh-huh.
for me, and it touched me. But it's more about me not attaching to it and making it my whole life. And
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, for me, I mean, maybe
yep,
that
yeah.
could work for someone. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But for me, it feels very freeing just to just let whatever comes up when it comes up.
It's like the structures are there and they're
Mm.
helpful till you don't need them anymore.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what you were
yeah,
talking about in that story, right? There's a
yeah.
structure there, there's a path there, there's a stuff there, and then at some point it kind of just falls away. And
Yeah, and
and,
it was
and that
really it was helpful because to me, I see things in images. And so
yeah.
seeing the image of him trying to get that raft out of the thing when he doesn't need a raft,
Yeah.
like it was cracking me up because
Yeah.
it's like, that's
You
bullshit.
can see the
I've done
insanity and
that. Yeah.
hilarity of that, right? Guys
Yeah,
trying to
like I,
raft across dry land.
right. Where I've tried to go back to something because it worked in the past and it
Yeah.
was beautiful in the past,
Yeah.
but it was a stepping stone, right? So
Yep.
you're not going to go back to
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
um, and maybe it'll come later. I have no idea, but it's
Yeah.
more of just like what comes in and goes, comes in
Yeah.
and goes, instead of just, this is who I am, this is my teaching, this is like, that does not
Right.
work for me. And
Right.
and I made myself wrong so long because that didn't work for me, because it just took me so long to realize that um, our paths are so unique, like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a way that's deeper than what I realized,
Yeah.
as far as the uniqueness of our journeys, and
Yeah.
that's
That's
okay.
beautiful. And
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it, right?
And
yeah.
that
The Tao
journey.
Te Ching, the first line of the Tao Te Ching is the way that is the way isn't the way.
Oh, right.
It's,
Yeah.
it may have been perfect for me, and I
Right.
had this amazing. Here, let me teach it to you, and you're a completely
Right.
different person. Your response, how you deal with that thing, is completely different. That's your
Right.
thing, right?
And
And for
Exactly.
me to
And
put my thing on you, again, good luck with that one.
the biggest thing is,
right.
yeah, the biggest thing
Let's
is,
see how
we
that
all, as
works.
you said, we all have our own journey, and it's
Yeah,
unique. It's supposed to be. We're
yeah,
individuals. We can't all be the
yeah,
same. That's why
yeah,
God made us different. Sorry,
yep,
that's the greatest thing of life. Because I have something to give you, you have something to give me. But as we go through that journey, as Corey was saying, we have these little pieces. That's our toolkit. That's what we talked our a couple episodes ago. We talked about our belt, our tool belt, and we just. I may use the four corners. You may use meditation. You may use something different, but we all have different stuff that we can use, but it's all there. And so
Yeah.
we're all unique. And just learning from what Corey does helps us maybe 20 years from now. God forbid I'm alive 20 years from now. I'm like, oh, I remember this thing. And I use it, whatever it is. So it's always just there, given to us for a reason if we're open and listening to what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And one thing that has taught me about uniqueness is that, I mean, sometimes I have experiences that are hard to explain. It like I'll have a dream that's so incredible and it shifts something in me. It's extremely powerful and I can feel it in the morning and I'm like, and the first person I tell it to, it's like they're like, oh, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't land at all, or
You're like, that's not how I'm feeling.
and I'm just like, there's no way. It's almost like by trying to put words to it, I butcher whatever happens, whatever kind of shift it is, or something beautiful. But and so that kind of has helped me too. That like something can be so profound and beautiful and touch you in a certain way, and it's given to you that way because that's what's going to touch you. It might not.
That's for
Someone
you.
else might think you're crazy, or who, whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, I sometimes the experiences that I have or the dreams I have can be so dark. And during this time, I was like, I think when I shared the experience I had, the out of body, my first one, after that experience, I went from being suicidal for decades to never being suicidal again.
Yeah.
And some of the darkness that's in the world right now that I experience in my dreams, I'll come out and sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It's
Yeah.
very, ugh.
Yeah.
And while I was having that experience, I just heard this whisper that said, oh, you're going to want to stick around for this. And I was like, oh, I mean, I felt it in my whole body. It was so powerful. But, like if I go and tell someone that, they might be like, oh, that's cool. Or, they may not feel it at all, and that's okay. It's actually, that's another teaching thing is how sure are you? How secure are you? How in line are
grounded.
you with with following your own guidance?
Yeah.
That you don't need people on the outside to
External validation.
yeah, to feel it. And now I just kind of laugh because it doesn't bother me. But before I was like, how can you not get this? This is so powerful. Now it's like,
If you know what I know, then you'd have the same reaction I'm having. Let me talk to you some more.
right. Well, they may have the same. They may have their experiences that don't land the same for me. Right?
And they're at a different point in that journey.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years down the road, they're like, oh my gosh, that's what she was talking about. I was like, who knows? I mean, they're all the different, and we take things differently. I mean, we feel and we understand.
You need to be freaking out. There could be World War III. You should be freaking out. Not right now.
Right.
Whatever that is.
And for me, like in my dreams, it's not so much that of freaking out so much of just the realization that I did not realize how dark some of the stuff was.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
I mean, I think I had kind of almost like Pollyannish view of like, oh, everything's love, like that. And yes, they need forgiveness and all this, but it's some very dark stuff. And so, but like I said, you get on one end of the spectrum and the other, and I just keep trusting it. And it's like one thing I can look back on my journey, and there's never been a time when I've trusted myself that I wished I didn't. Like it's, I may have been a little unsure, or thinking, oh, am I crazy? Because I don't have like a group that I hang around with or something that help, and so. I do have some doubts a lot of times, like, am I just making this up or is this real? And then later it's like, it's fine. And so, and that helps you trust more, right? And it's just like, it just puts you in this like own groove, almost like you have your own path, your own groove. And it's beautiful, really.
It's like you were saying, I think you said it in the last podcast about, or maybe it's the beginning of this one. Was it 6 months ago? I don't remember. Or is it? I don't remember. But you said you were talking about like that, basically integration, right? Mm-hmm. Having these experiences, these insights, and then how do you bring that into this physical body and live that thing?
Right.
Hey, that was beautiful. Now I get to,
Yeah, that was beautiful. And then you go to Finland and think, you have not integrated that.
There's some more integration to be done.
Right.
Or whatever.
I know.
That's the thing. Cory's like, I got this down. Like, oh, you really do? Okay.
Yeah.
What I have to do.
I know.
Here's your test.
Dang it.
I mean, I'm trying not to get frostbite my toes everywhere I go. Like it was cold. And I'll share this one thing because it was just so, like thinking, oh, you got to go on a spiritual trip. I have to go on a spiritual trip. So I've experienced spirituality. But when I got to Finland, I had read about this concept, and it's called sisu. You may have read it on my post, but I might not explain this perfectly, but it's a Finnish concept that they live by. It's super cold there, and these people are out. It's -10, and they're standing outside, ready to do a cold plunge, and they're joyful about it. And they're, yeah, and so they've had to learn. They've had to, go through some. It's not easy to live there, right?
Right.
And through wars, and so they have this concept of sisu, and it's about finding the strength within instead of looking for outside
Beautiful.
sources of strength. And
Yeah.
and so
I did not. Yeah. Wow.
yeah, it was really cool. And so and it helped them through the war, and it helps them through just living, just in that environment. And so my husband and I had a log cabin. We got a log cabin, and it had this little thing where you could add an alarm, so when the northern lights are on, you can go outside, and it had its own little sauna, and it was just beautiful. It was super snowy, and we haven't gotten hardly any snow in Colorado, which is so weird this year, and so it was nice to be around the snow. But we got there and around to this resort, and it has they also have these igloos where you can sleep underneath the stars to see the light.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
so we get there at 4 o'clock, and we see all these fire trucks, and the electrical room caught on fire and knocked the power out in the whole resort. And so it's -10 degrees, and it didn't come on till the next day till like 9 or 10. And so all night we were free, it was cold. We had
Wow. Yeah.
pounds of blankets on us, no fire, nothing. And I went to the front desk just to see if they were going to be serving dinner, or if there's any updates. And I mean, when I got up there, people were complaining, they were mad, and I was like, I felt really bad for the workers. It's not their fault that the power went off.
Yeah.
And people were upset and just on the verge. And so I just asked the woman, and I said, do you know when the power's coming back on, or is this going to be all night? And she was like, I felt so bad for her. She was like, it's probably going to be all night. And I went, sisu, like that. And she was like, she goes, yes, sisu, yes. Like she was so happy that someone wasn't complaining, and that someone met her and embodied it. I got the perfect.
Understood the culture a little bit and the hope.
Yeah. And it felt I love that feeling, like of connection,
awesome.
like of a deeper thing. And so I don't know if I should, this trip, another, I was like, sisu, and they were like, sisu, yes, like so happy. But then we went I really wanted to see whales. And so we went on we had this whale watching tour planned on a raft. Well, they got canceled right before because the seas were really rough. And so my husband and I are like, okay, well, so we went to eat, and then there was somebody there with a yacht that was actually going out on the water. And this was our last day there, and I ignored every single sign that told me this is not the day to go on a raft watching tour or a whale watching tour. And
Is it North Atlantic? It's whale watching in the
yeah,
middle of the
Arctic
winter.
is in the middle
Arctic
of
whale
Arctic
watching.
Ocean. Yeah. And I mean, it was rough, but I was like, oh, I've never been car sick. I've never I can read in the car. I don't get sick on plane. I've never had that experience.
Yeah.
So we get on this, and there's probably like about 100, a little over 100 people on the ship. And we get on the ship. So here's another lesson for me on my regular trip. But
You're
as soon as
non-spiritual.
as soon as the ship does the first wave, I was like, oh shit, I'm screwed. This trip is this boat ride is 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And and I just started vomiting like crazy. Like I barely made it to the bathroom, and I couldn't even, like the ship's doing this, so I can't even hardly get in the toilet. And I come out of the bathroom, and literally, I promise you, over 50% of the ship was vomiting, and it was like, yeah, my husband was fine. He was out on the deck just enjoying it, but like,
Oh, really? Wow. He's like the one. He's like, wow.
tough. But and so people, and I mean, it was like bad. There were
Yeah.
women rolling around on the ground. There was one woman holding onto her husband's ankle while he tried to drag her to the bathroom. There was two guys carrying a woman. I mean, it was bad, and people vomiting everywhere. And so I was like, Sisu, Sisu.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, and so
Sisu.
exactly. There was a woman next to me from the UK, and I was just like, so she said, have you ever been, or she said, where are you from? I said, I'm from the United States. And she goes, oh, I've been to New York. And she vomited. We had these little bags, so we're all like carrying this chunky bags around with us.
Oh.
It was disgusting. And then
It's like a Monty Python skit almost.
it was, but the thing is that I would have, in my past, I would have gotten so carried away with the conversation. I mean, with the experience, I would have gotten so caught up in it that I would have been one rolling on the ground. I mean, it was bad. And I looked it up afterwards because I was like, am I exaggerating, or is it really that bad to be that seasick? And there's people that jump off ships in order to get relief because it can be so bad. So I was like, oh, that makes me feel better because I didn't jump off the ship. But I was just like, Sisu, Sisu. So I found this place inside of me, and for 3 hours I just sat there, and I was able to be with it. And it was just like, I mean, it might sound silly, but for me it was like this huge moment of growth that I can just find it within to be with whatever,
Even in the midst of violent.
Yeah, and complete chaos, and just it was. And the funny thing is, while people were vomiting, there was a woman on the speaker that worked there, and she was like, "You're all so brave. Look how good you're doing." And then
You're like, are you looking at what's happening right now? Are you actually seeing?
exactly, this woman like crawls in front of me while she's saying it, and I'm like, "What? No, we're not doing good at all." So it was a great experience of like putting. I had so many opportunities to put to test of how much have you integrated what you're learning.
That's awesome that you can even say that it was a great
cool.
experience tied to what you're just describing.
Yeah.
It was great. And the funny thing is that it's very different. They're not really into small talk. They don't do a lot of small talk. They're very kind, very polite. And so we got back to the hotel, and I asked them I went to the front desk to ask for some sparkling water, and I said, I told her what happened on the boat, and she goes, you had an experience. How wonderful. Like she
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
It
Yeah,
was
like,
cool.
oh, so sorry. No, it's like, oh, cool. You got to go.
Yeah. And so you get to just really see, and I did. I felt stronger after that. I was like, oh,
That's awesome.
okay, I can handle myself, even when I feel like I want to die, because
Yep.
it literally did. I thought, how am I going to do this for 4 hours?
One question. Did you see a whale?
No, I did not.
I just wondered. I don't know if you got back on deck or not.
No, it was a complete whiteout. It was snowing so hard. It was, yeah, it was
So then
fun.
all the signs, and then you were saying there were some signs saying
There were signs. Yep, there were signs. But it was our last day, and I was like, I got to see a whale. Well,
You didn't get to see one, and you had an experience though. So
no, I wouldn't change it either. It was, and the funny thing is, like, after I had the experience, we got off the ship, and I was, we really wanted to enjoy our last night there having a meal, and I felt fine. As soon as I stepped off the ship, I was like, I feel fine. We enjoyed our meal, and
sometimes you get sick from the recovery back to solid land when your body gets used
right.
to this.
Yeah,
So
that's what I
that's
heard,
wild.
and so
Yeah.
I felt completely fine. It was great.
good.
But yeah, it was a great trip.
I love
But
it.
it's
awesome.
just funny, like how so many examples of how my mind thought, I have to, I need to be working on myself at a spiritual
Yeah.
retreat. I need to be meditating. I need to
Yeah.
go be in silence for 5 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
that's
Wow.
Those are some great stories. I mean, wow. I always love to hear your stories and how you make them just so life life uplifting, as where you've
It's
been
beautiful.
and all that. And so I mean, your stories are great because it really helps people. I'm sure a lot of people are going to get
It's
some good.
always in my story.
good I just want to go on a non-spiritual trip with Cori just to experience everything else. I mean, where are you going? I'm
See
going
if
on
I
a
have any
spiritual
spiritual
retreat with
grounding at
Cori.
all.
I'm going on a
right.
spiritual retreat with Cori. Oh, she's going on a spiritual retreat? No, she's just going on a trip. That's my spiritual retreat, just to witness.
Yeah,
I did write some things down though. So
She becomes a leader and a teacher, and she starts leading her groups.
yeah.
yeah,
They're going to be
We
tourist
all
groups.
go.
We're just going to go to Italy for a week and enjoy the
We're gonna go
pizza.
on. We're going
See
on
what
the rough
happens.
season. We're gonna go on the rough season, see how spiritual you are while you're wearing 5 layers of clothes.
yeah. Sheldon,
But
we just
it
can't
does.
tell her she's the teacher though. Then she won't do it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
She's a tour guide. We're just going on
But
training.
it did. The lessons that I've received lately are just like to, because, and this is I mean, I don't know how many people do this. I don't know how. Mine was so severe as far as compartmentalizing and putting spirituality in a box, and this is this, and so it's just kind of like it's been
Feel it
open,
all
and now
over.
they're just
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah. That's
it's
beautiful.
all about it. Yeah,
That's huge.
Wow,
feels
that's
nice.
awesome.
All right, Dave.
All right, I got 3.5 things.
Dave's got
Oh.
homework and notes.
Yeah, not really homework. What kind of homework? Just live these things. It'd be great. Going off of what Cori talked about last time and continuing this time is spiraling. It's going to come back around eventually, but know that it's there and just experience it and just enjoy it for the next time around. What we need at one point, you may not need now. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool because you take these little tools and I need that hammer. I need that hammer. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't need it anymore. Let it go. So just know that tool is there, and when you get to the next thing, maybe we'll use that tool, maybe you won't. So don't hold on to something that's holding you down.
Right.
So if you know it's holding you down. And the last main thing is, I love this one. Trying to make sense of insanity is insanity. You don't have to understand it all because that's just, we all try to why is this happening?
Right.
Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we
Right.
will be able to figure it out, which is great. Try to figure it out. You know what? I'm not getting this. Okay, back off and don't go so deep into it. You get stuck into it. But you know that, okay, it's just I don't get it. I'm not going to get it. And it's okay not to get it, at that point.
Yeah.
At first try to make sense and it's okay not to make sense. And then the last thing I'll leave you with, this is homework. Okay? Things are going down. Sisu.
Sisu.
I like that.
You have to look it up.
Yes, I am. I'm going to start saying that. I'll be in the middle of the library. Sisu. I'll be like, uh-oh.
Right.
911.
Live your
This is having an
Sisu.
incident.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I will share one more thing. I'll share that I think that I also just anything that's like put in front of me, it feels like it's a lesson or a growth edge. And the first time that we did our first podcast with you guys, I was so nervous. I was like, "What? I have this part. I am my worst. I'm so hard on myself. I can be." And I was like, "Why are you even going on this this voice? Why are you on this podcast? You don't have anything to offer. Nobody cares what you say. Like constant blah blah blah." And this time I didn't. I was like, "Oh, 15 minutes, okay." So it's like it's very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because in the past, I would have felt like, oh, I need to have something important to say or offer. And instead of just coming from the place of like today, it's just authenticity. This is just
Authenticity,
me,
which is the hugest thing there is, I think, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's another one. Authenticity, relaxation, authenticity, right?
Right.
We're talking-
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is our thing, real talk. Just like we don't make things up. We're like, this is real life. This is what someone's going through. So someone's going to hear your word and go like, wow, I can do that. I've been stuck in this. I've been in this insanity world. I need to hop out. So who
Right.
knows?
Right. Yeah.
We definitely
Yeah.
thank you for being here again. It's
Yeah,
great
Cori.
to see you.
For sure.
I love
been a
your
blast.
posts. I love watching them. So
It's
keep
been a
them
blast, and
Yeah.
I think it's like, hey, laughter. I think the world needs a little more laughter, right? So being able to laugh at the stuff that happens in our lives is huge healing as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's so much stuff in here. I feel like hopefully people are going to watch it all the way through, and definitely we've enjoyed and loved the time with you. So
Make sure you share
appreciate
it.
your
Make sure you like it. Yeah, 'cause you got
openness and
friends
your
out there.
authenticity and your willingness to share your journey with us and your stories. It's been totally so much fun for me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
I've
if you're out
enjoyed
there
it.
listening, make sure you share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Make sure you like it because that's how they get to hear it. Hopefully they
Yep.
get to hear it. So definitely.
I will share it. Yes.
So
All right.
awesome.
All right.
Have a great week, and thank you, Cori, for being here again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys, for watching. Love you guys. Love everybody. Take care.
Keep a smile on.